Good evening, everyone. My name is Edgar, and this is Mystcon. Welcome back to the channel. This week we are picking up where we left off last week with Sung by B. And if you have missed any of the previous installments of this story, please check below for the links and go through those first. Otherwise, it will make even less insane sense than it already does. So, on we go. Let's get started. Chapter 9. Sharing is Caring. Frank grabs the pages and crumbles them up. He thinks for a second, and then fetches an aluminum trash can. In go the pages, and following them, a match. A secret bottle of whiskey helped to cure Frank of his most disturbed mind. Shot after shot, he dreams it was all a dream. Waking up at 7 a.m. proved much harder today. No kind words come between Frank and Carla. She saw the bottle and knows he is hungover. She did not accept any excuses for that type of behavior, but Frank wasn't about to explain it to her anyway. On the way to work, Frank notices none of the Kandar watching him. He stops at the coffee shop and opens his briefcase to retrieve today's agenda. Frank has another surge of fear almost kill him as the folk songs lie on top of everything in his briefcase, unwrinkled and stacked neatly. Frank's expression changes now from fear to joviality. He begins laughing, his eyes wide and his hands gripping his hair. "Coffee, lots of coffee," Frank orders the waitress at the counter. "Hey Frank, how's it going, buddy?" Tom sits at the counter. Frank looks at him with insanity at his thoughts. "You are not a song. No, you aren't real." Frank's cracked brain puts forth these words. "Stop singing! Stop! Stop!" Tom is a little puzzled and scared. "Drinking last night, eh, Frank?" Tom finally concludes his thinking. Frank thinks hard for a second. "Yes, I drank heavily. It was wonderful, boy!" Frank yells every word and attracts the restaurant's attention. A sneering grin develops on Frank's face, as if he had just figured out the answers to the universe. "I have a gift for you, boy." Frank pulls the boy's ear closer and speaks in secrecy. He pats the boy on the back, opens his briefcase, and hands Tom a yellow faded stack of parchment with some folk songs written on them. "Here, boy, play these songs." Roy is still acting like a secret agent. "Thanks a lot, Frank. We have a show tonight, and I bet the guys and I can use one for an intro. We aren't practicing, but I'll photocopy it, and I'm sure we can improvise." A pot of coffee and 3 cigarettes send Roy on his way. Walking to his car, he feels ill. Clutching his stomach, he gets in the car. Driving along half-wired from caffeine and half asleep from alcohol side effects, Frank rubs his eyes. As Frank focuses on the roadway, again they are there. The Kandar, in their fullest regimen yet. An easy 20 of them, all dressed the same, stand like they await a school's class picture. They block the road at an intersection. "Ha ha 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 ha!" Frank laughs, and at this point he has lost complete control of his sanity. He speeds up, aiming to exact revenge for the psychological torment they have inflicted. He is still laughing until the power is taken from him. He broadsides a bus at 60 plus miles an hour and leaves himself and 8 passengers cremated black ash in a sphere of flame and smoke. The Kandar, gone, nowhere to be seen. Well, that's the end of chapter 9, but I say we push on. There's one more chapter, guys. So let's do it. Chapter 10. On with the show we must go. The evening brings us to a small nightclub on Red Street. The name of the nightclub is, not surprisingly, the Redhead Club. They feature local bands and some bigger players for the citizens of Halifax, Georgia. The club holds a maximum, according to the fire marshal, of 300 spectators. On this night, the club is full. Tonight's feature is the long-awaited, by the locals, performance of a local band called Stomach. Good evening, Tom speaks in a sinister tone. The crowd, of course, screams and roars at this minute phrase as if the man on stage had just promised world peace. "How are you all doing tonight?" he asks, as if he could tell who answered what. Again the crowd roars. The lights on the stage switch on. "Before we go any further, I'd like to tell a quick story." The crowd doesn't seem to object. "The first song we are going to do was given to me by a friend of mine. He gave me some tunes to play as an intro for tonight's show. After he gave them to me, he went out and lost control of his car. He is no longer with us, and I dedicate this song to him, Frank." The crowd, so easily moved, sympathizes. "So without further delay, here it is." The crowd lights lighters and cheers for their idols on the stage. But as the song of travel continues on, they grow quieter. They seem to enter a hypnotic state, until suddenly they are all gone, with the exception of a tall man in the back with a trench coat and a dark hat. The end. All right, guys, that is all the time we have this week. Thank you so much for joining me for this really amazing tale of craziness. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I hope it brought you guys some really brain-tingling experiences. Now, do me a favor and leave a comment below. I'd love to hear what you think about the story, what you think maybe some of the characters mean or symbolically represent, because there's definitely some meaning in the symbols of this story. And of course, please give us a like and feel free to click that bell so that whenever the bell tolls, you know you've got another update from Mystcon. On that note, my name is Edgar, and this is Mystcon. Have a creepy day.